What if I told you that the same grain sitting in your pantry right now could explode your soil's microbial population in less than 3 days? Most gardeners spend months trying to build healthy soil biology, but there's a faster way that's been hiding in plain sight. The catch? The form of rice you choose makes all the difference between watching paint dry and witnessing a microbial revolution unfold before your eyes. Every thriving garden starts beneath the surface with billions of microscopic workers. Bacteria, fungi, and other soil organisms feast on organic matter, breaking it down into plant-available nutrients. Without this underground army, your soil becomes dense, lifeless, and incapable of sustaining vigorous growth. Rice happens to be loaded with starch, which is pure stored energy for these microbes. But here's where most gardeners go wrong. They assume all rice feeds microbes equally. It doesn't. When you toss raw rice grains into your soil, you're essentially serving microbes a locked safe. Those hard, dry grains contain crystalline starch structures that resist breakdown. Sure, soil moisture will eventually soften them, but we're talking weeks or months, not days. Only specialized fungi like Aspergillus and Penicillium can begin the slow work of colonizing these resistant grains. Raw rice acts as a slow-release carbon source, steadily feeding microbial communities over the long haul. If patience is your virtue and you're planning for sustained feeding throughout the season, raw rice has its place. But if you want rapid results, you'll be disappointed watching those intact grains sit there week after week with barely any visible activity. Everything changes when you introduce heat and water to rice. Cooking gelatinizes the starch, collapsing that rigid structure into loose, accessible molecules. To microbes, this is fast food, pre-digested and ready to devour. The response in your soil is dramatic. Within 24 to 48 hours, you'll detect the first signs: a slightly sour smell, tiny bubbles escaping as gases release, and white fungal threads spreading across the grains like wildfire. By day 3 or 4, those rice grains practically vanish under a blanket of microbial life. Bacteria like Bacillus and Pseudomonas multiply at explosive rates under these ideal conditions. Your soil becomes warmer, biologically richer, and primed for exceptional plant performance. This isn't theory, it's observable biology happening in real time. Here's the nuance every serious gardener needs to grasp. Cooked rice delivers that immediate microbial surge, but the party doesn't last long. Within 1 to 2 weeks, most of it gets consumed and activity levels drop. Raw rice decomposes glacially slow, providing a steady trickle of nutrition that keeps microbial populations stable over months. This is precisely why smart soil management incorporates both strategies. Need to jumpstart a sluggish compost pile or resurrect depleted garden beds before planting season? Cooked rice is your answer? Want to maintain consistent microbial feeding throughout the growing season? Bury raw rice deeper in your soil where it can quietly support fungal networks over time. There's a powerful middle ground that combines speed with sustained benefits: fermented rice water. This simple preparation delivers live beneficial bacteria straight into your root zone without the pest attraction risks of burying grains. The process couldn't be easier. Rinse 1 cup of uncooked rice with 2 cups of clean water, stirring thoroughly to release the starch. Strain off the milky liquid and pour it into a loosely covered jar. Let it sit at room temperature for 3 to 5 days. You'll know it's ready when it develops that characteristic tangy, slightly sour aroma. Before applying, always dilute it. Mix 1 part fermented rice water with 10 parts clean water. This dilution prevents overwhelming your soil with too much microbial activity at once, which can create anaerobic pockets. Pour this solution directly onto your soil or around plant bases every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season. Run a side-by-side comparison, and honestly, the differences become undeniable. After 2 weeks, raw rice grains might show slight discoloration, but, they remain largely intact. Cooked rice grains at day 3 are already coated in visible microbial colonies. By day 7, they're unrecognizable, completely transformed into biological matter. Fermented rice water bypasses waiting altogether, introducing active microbes the moment it touches your soil. The explanation lies in molecular structure. Raw rice contains tightly compacted starch granules with high amylose content, making them resistant to enzymatic breakdown. Cooking shatters those granules, converting starch into a gel that microbes attack instantly. It's identical to why cooked food spoils faster than raw: digestibility. For quick microbial stimulation, bury small amounts of cooked rice a few inches below your soil surface to minimize pest attraction. This works brilliantly when preparing beds before planting or reviving stagnant compost piles. Think of it as a short-term booster shot rather than season-long treatment. Reserve raw rice for long-term soil conditioning by burying it deeper, about 6 to 8 inches down, or incorporating it into compost where animals can't reach it. It'll quietly maintain fungal networks and background microbial activity. Fermented rice water becomes your regular maintenance tool. That 1:10 dilution ratio ensures you're adding beneficial organisms without disrupting the microbial balance you're working so hard to build. Soil microbes are opportunists. When you provide accessible energy, they multiply explosively. Cooked rice delivers that accessibility immediately, while raw rice locks it away behind resistant structures. For gardeners seeking visible soil transformation in days rather than months, cooked rice and fermented rice water are game changers. They deliver instant microbial energy, observable results, and biological activity surges that raw rice simply cannot match in the short term. Raw rice still serves its purpose for sustained feeding, but when you need results fast, there's no competition. This isn't just gardening theory. It's a practical tool you can implement today to revolutionize your soil health, accelerate plant growth, and create genuinely living earth beneath your crops. If this guide from Crop Corner has opened your eyes to the power of rice in soil management, hit that subscribe button and share this with fellow growers who need to know. Drop a comment about your own experiments with rice in the garden. Together, we're not just growing plants. We're cultivating knowledge that transforms how we understand soil biology.